I, myself, feel blessed and fortunate to have met, taught, and worked with Charis Somiadis. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, during my time here, I was part of the Ikaros Greek Orthodox Club, and I was fortunate enough to be the president of the club during 1994-1995. While reflecting on the topic for today's lecture, it struck me how topical the story of Ikaros is when addressing the recent developments in Cyprus and the lessons the story teaches us as we leap to the future. Did we too fly too close to the sun? I don't think so. I think we simply lost our course. As we return to flight, the future holds great promise for a prosperous and stable Cyprus. When I travel abroad, I often hear a question which this crowd certainly knows the answer. Where is Cyprus? Beyond its mere location, US Ambassador Thomas Boyard, in a presentation at the Foreign Service Institute in Washington, D.C. in 1992, very succinctly captured the critical geographical position of Cyprus. Cyprus, he said, is an island in the northeast corner of the Mediterranean. It sits there like an aircraft carrier and dominates between east and west as well as between north and south. Every empire, from the Egyptians to the British, which has sought to dominate the Middle East, has had to control Cyprus, and they all have. And while Boyard disagreed with Henry Kissinger's policy on Cyprus in 1974, the year of the Turkish invasion that has left 37% of the territory of the Republic of Cyprus under Turkish military occupation, I'm certain they will both agree that geography has to a very large extent defined the history of this island state in the Eastern Mediterranean. And they will also most probably agree that when it comes to Cyprus' political history, geography has been more of a curse than a blessing. Cyprus, an island blessed with abundant sun, lies at the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa, at the southeasternmost corner of the European Union, of which it has been a full member state since 2004. It is a country with an incredibly rich and diverse history, a melting pot of cultures and religions of the Mediterranean that coexisted respectfully and peacefully for hundreds of years. This unique island and its resilient people have managed not only to survive numerous conquerors and hardships, but also form an inextricable part of European civilization. Regrettably, Cyprus is a country whose modern history is dominated by protracted, anachronistic division, leaving it the sole European country with a divided capital. And while the island's long-standing division has often captured the attention of international media, in March of last year, Cyprus was at the forefront of international news for a different reason. Eurogroup's decision to apply a bail-in model for the first time since this unprecedented global crisis, which started here in the United States. The result was an economic crisis that could only be compared to the one that followed the 1974 invasion. The new government, elected that same month, was called within weeks of taking office to stave off an economic meltdown. The problem was a multidimensional one related to structural imbalances in the Cypriot economy, the unsustainability of our public finances and the oversized public sector, the chronic overspending of the private sector, private debt levels which were the highest in the European Union, the over-concentrated structure of the island's economy on finance, and the over-reliance on an offshore banking and real estate industry which created a property bubble. Just like Ikaros, who ignored Daedalus' warnings not to fly too close to the sun or the sea, Cyprus ignored warnings. In fact, many of the corrective measures that Cyprus was forced to take following the Eurogroup's decision were measures that should have been taken long before March in order to prevent the ensuing economic meltdown. The decision was also a wake-up call for us, the people of Cyprus, who inevitably got carried away by the economic bubble created. Yet, despite the soothsayers and their ominous predictions, Cyprus turned the economic crisis into an opportunity to reform and restructure its economy. Over a year since the bail-in, we can now safely say that the hard work, perseverance, sacrifice and resilience of the Cypriot people have put us on the road to economic recovery, surprising even the most optimistic economic analysts. We have drastically cut public expenditures and have created fiscal buffers beyond the targets set by the Troika, composed of the European Commission, the European Central Bank and the IMF. Reforms in the civil service, healthcare and welfare systems, the tax administration are currently being implemented. We have improved supervision and oversight of our financial sector and have restructured and recapitalized our banks. As a result, capital controls imposed following last year's Eurogroup decision on Cyprus are gradually being lifted, soon to be removed fully. The decline in the spreads of Cyprus government bonds is remarkable. The spreads are now at their lowest level since 2011. Economic recession in 2013 was less severe than initially expected. In fact, our fiscal targets for 2013 were met by a considerable margin, while the financial sector is showing clear signs of stabilization due to the implementation of the agreed economic adjustment program. Key productive sectors such as the tourist industry, the shipping industry and the business services industry are demonstrating a stronger than expected resilience. At the same time, we are encouraging the emergence of new sectors of economic activity, such as the energy sector. The Troika has already issued 4 very positive reviews on the Cyprus government's implementation of its economic reforms. In addition, the Cyprus economy received a series of upgrades by Standard & Poor's and Fitch following 3 years of successive downgrades. The forecast for a quick recovery and return to growth as early as 2015 is supported by the Troika's own forecast. The recession is expected to ease in 2014 and much needed growth is set to return in 2015 as domestic demand rebounds. Ladies and gentlemen, energy is key to restoring Cyprus' injured wings as well as changing the geopolitical landscape of the Eastern Mediterranean. The US firm Noble Energy has identified significant quantities of natural gas in one of the blocks of Cyprus' exclusive economic zone. Actually, it is the 3rd largest discovery in the Levantine Basin until today. The extensive sea data acquired by the French energy giant Total and the Italian-Korean consortium Eni-Kogas, which have been granted hydrocarbon exploration licenses in 5 additional offshore blocks, provide evidence of significant potential waiting to be tapped. Based on the preliminary evaluations made for all licensed blocks, we are cautiously optimistic for even further discoveries in our exclusive economic zone. In fact, exploration activity will continue in 2014 in all 6 blocks. Fully aware of the importance of strategic planning, the government has built its energy policy around 3 pillars. To shield the geostrategic, geopolitical and geoeconomical role of the country, to contribute in enhancing the security of Europe's energy supply through the creation of a 3rd corridor, and to diversify Cyprus' energy mix by integrating natural gas and renewable energy resources in its energy system, so that the island may gradually become energy self-sufficient. Through the continuous assessment of all possible alternatives, the government of Cyprus believes that the construction of an onshore plant of the liquefaction of natural gas remains the best strategy forward for the monetization of our hydrocarbon resources. In our view, this regional infrastructural project could prove to be a game changer. It will contribute to the diversification of European energy supply sources and provide a flexible hub that can link the large quantities of natural gas throughout the Eastern Mediterranean and transport them to European and global markets. The recent crisis in Ukraine has undoubtedly exposed the dependency of the European Union on Russian energy supplies and has illustrated the need for alternative energy corridors and diversified energy portfolio that will lead to increased energy security. During President Anastasiadis' recent visit to Germany and United States Vice President Biden's visit to Cyprus last week, Cyprus' role in increased regional energy security was highlighted. I need to underline that Cyprus is pursuing its energy policy in accordance with international law and the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. It has defined its exclusive economic zone and continental shelf boundaries and has proceeded with concluding bilateral delimitation agreements with its neighbors, Egypt, Israel, and Lebanon. This agreement provides legal security to international oil and gas companies to freely pursue exploration and exploitation activities in the region. Cyprus aspires to bring interested stakeholders closer together, as it has done in the case of Israel and Lebanon, through opportunities for maritime boundary agreements and the joint development of potentially common and adjacent fields of hydrocarbon deposits. The role of Cyprus as an energy hub is highlighted by the presence of large multinationals in the country, aiming to serve the region from a politically stable, business-friendly country with full EU membership, such as Cyprus. Beyond the three consortia, Noble, Eni, and Total, operating in Cyprus' exclusive economic zone, companies such as Halliburton and Schlumberger have recently set up their operations on the island, targeting to service the offshore activity in Eastern Mediterranean. In a similar fashion, Vitol has invested hundreds of millions of euros in taking advantage of Cyprus' proximity to the Suez Canal. Regrettably, Turkish threats are the only exception to the regional cooperation with respect to energy in the Eastern Mediterranean. Turkish claims in relation to Cyprus' exclusive economic zone cannot be sustained by international law, while Turkish threat of use of force undermine regional stability and seek to harm efforts to unlock the region's energy potential. Despite the fact that history and first-hand experience oblige us to take Turkish threats seriously, Cyprus will not deter from exercising its sovereign rights and pursuing its energy policy for the benefit of its people and for the benefit of the European Union. One thing is abundantly clear, that geography will play a significant role in shaping the future of Cyprus over the next decades. As a government, we are determined to explore this potential fully and transform our country into a source of stability and peace in the region. Dear friends, I'm a fervent believer that the single development that can unleash Cyprus' full potential and that can ultimately secure prosperity, what will allow Cyprus to truly create a new mythology, is the reunification of the island. Ending the division of Cyprus will have ramifications that ripple beyond Cyprus' shores, throughout the Eastern Mediterranean and deep into the fabric of Europe. We have repeatedly underlined our steadfast commitment to reach a comprehensive settlement to the Cyprus problem in line with the relevant United Nations Security Council resolutions, high-level agreements, and the European Union principles. Following painstaking and strenuous negotiations with the Turkish side, under the auspices of the United Nations and with the decisive influence of the government of the United States, which is demonstrating a keen interest in the Cyprus problem, we reached an agreement on a joint declaration on February 11, 2014. This declaration, which signaled the launching of the new round of negotiations, sets the overall framework and the general principles guiding the negotiations. The ultimate goal is reunification, but short-term measures are vital to achieving long-term goals. We must enhance trust between Greek and Turkish Cypriots, while Turkey needs to secure the trust of Greek Cypriots, since our painful history has taught us not to trust Turkey. To that end, President Anastasiadis has proposed a bold package of confidence-building measures, which includes, among others, the return of the fenced area of Varosha to its lawful inhabitants, in accordance with the relevant United Nations Security Council resolutions. The Famagusta proposal could be a game changer. It could lead to a win-win result, and most importantly, it will inject dynamism and momentum to the negotiations. Moreover, it can contribute decisively to creating a climate of mutual trust, restoring at the same time the hope and confidence in the prospect of reaching a settlement, and particularly in defining Turkey's intentions. Moreover, the reconstruction and revitalization of the fenced city of Famagusta, which has been uninhabited for 4 decades, will lead to the creation of new jobs within a wide variety of occupational fields, giving a huge boost to the economy of the country. Working on rebuilding the city and thereafter enjoying what it has to offer, Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots will come closer together, realizing the benefits and the advantages that can be derived from a shared and prosperous future in a united Cyprus, just as their forefathers did in the past. This proposal has been supported by the European Union, by individual member states, not to mention the White House. Unfortunately, as of yet, we are still waiting a positive response from the Turkish side. Dear friends, though I began this lecture by warning about flying too close to the sun, I believe that the future of Cyprus is bright, and that wasn't evident 1 year ago. During the visit of Vice President Biden to Cyprus last week, the first visit to Cyprus by a US Vice President since 1962, Mr. Biden referred to Cyprus as an island uniquely situated at a critical time. He called Cyprus a strategic partner and a key player in the region with incredible potential. I believe Cyprus is on the road of fulfilling its potential. As we return to flight, we will proceed with purpose and resolve. We will embrace the sun on the horizon. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Christodoulidis, for your speech, a tour de force on the future of Cyprus. Thank you very much. Now, to introduce, to go to the next part of our program, the alumnus of the year, to introduce the New York City Councilman Kostas Konstantinidis, an alumnus himself, who will also present the alumnus of the year. I will again ask the Center's Assistant Director, Effie Lekas.
I'm not trying to say. Just for Nico. Who wouldn't cry for Nico, right? This year's Alumnus of the Year award will be presented by the recipient of last year's inaugural Alumnus of the Year award, Mr. Kostas Konstantinidis, New York City Council member, District 22, representing Astoria and Western Queens, the councilman of many of our students and many of our guests tonight, and the New York City Council's first member of Greek Cypriot descent in history, and of course an alumni of our center. Clearly, Costa is an exemplary member of our center's alumni and one who has wholeheartedly embraced the Queens College motto of "We learn so that we may serve." One of the main missions of our center, as any of our students will tell you as we drill it into their heads day in and day out, is to also instill in them a keen sense of civic responsibility and a respect and gratitude for all the previous generations of Greek Americans, their parents, their papus, their propapudas, who opened so many doors of opportunity for them, and to whom they owe a great debt of gratitude and a responsibility to keep paying it forward for future generations. In this capacity, Costa's life choices and journey after his graduation from Queens College in 2005 is truly inspirational to our students, and for whom Costa serves as a superb role model that they can be proud of and one truly worth emulating. Nico and Costa are the dynamic duo, both Cypriot And again, I say with great pride, as I said to Nico, welcome home, Costa, mas, pandaxios, que sanotera. No doubt, this may be the first Greek American mayor of New York City, I've said it before. And introduce you again, Sen Akomi Pedimas, the Honorable New York City Council member, Costa Kostadinidis.
Good evening, everyone. President Kistas, honored guests, members of the press. There's too many stars in the constellation this evening from the Greek American community to name you all. But it makes me proud to know all of you and proud to be associated with you. Just to give a few remarks before I introduce our amazing alumnus of the year. This center is something special. It's unique. Dr. Simiadis, his vision 40 years ago to put this center together is the only one of its kind in the United States. It's something that if Queens College is the jewel, is the treasure of Queens, then this is the crown jewel of that treasure. And this center has produced 15,000 plus graduates that have gone on to careers of law and medicine, the true leaders of our communities that have paid it forward. And as the alumni, as you look to the future, the torch is being passed from one generation to the next. And now it is your time. And you've learned from the best. And you've had the opportunity to spend time here at this amazing center. And now it's your time to seize that moment. And whatever field that you move into, know one that we all stand behind you, as the great Greek community does. That we always stand with one another and fight for one another. So we'll always have your back. And we're proud of you. And we're excited for the futures that you're going to move forward to. So whatever field you take up, we know you're going to be successful. We know you're going to be stars in those fields. We're looking forward to the continuation of this great center, not only for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, but 100 years from now, this center will be standing here because of what it represents for Hellenism, what it represents for our community, and what it means to all of us. Now, I just want to make quickly, Christos Ioannidis taking over for Dr. Simiadis was not an easy thing to do, but your stewardship and your leadership has been truly inspiring. And of course, Efilekas, who's been here the whole way, and always seems to get me in trouble by saying the thing about the mayor. Last time she did it, it was in City Hall. But she truly is the glue that holds it all together, and is truly an amazing woman in her own right. And in that amazingness, she didn't leave me much left to say about our alumnus of the year. And from his speech, all I can say for Nikos Chrysolidis is that we're proud of you. You make, as a Greek American, you make us proud. As a graduate of the center, you make us proud. And we know as a leader of the government of Cyprus, we know that the government's in good hands because you're there and you're fighting for the Cypriot people and for all of us as Greek Americans. So you've truly succeeded in all of your endeavors, both here as a student, an academic, a diplomat, a writer, and has really helped spread the Hellenic culture throughout our globe. So it's my great honor to present you as alumnus of the year, His Excellency, Dr. Nikos Chrysolidis. After a proclamation from the City of New York.
Thank you, Mayor, Councilman Augustine.
Wait, and future president of Cyprus.
Don't.
Just saying.
No, he said mayor, but not in the distant future, we are also going to have a Greek American in the White House. Let's put it this way.
One of our women alumni, yes.
Thank you, Councilman Constantinidis, for this City Council proclamation, your praise for our alumnus of the year, and συγχαρητήρια, congratulations to Dr. Christodoulidis, well deserved, sir. Now, we're coming to presentation of scholarships and awards, and the first one is the Harry J. Psomiadis Memorial Scholarship, and appropriately so will be presented by Mr. Agioni Damadaris, whom I call to the podium.
Καλησπέρα σας. Κύριε Υπουργέ, κύριε Πρόεδρε, Queen's College, χαίρομαι ιδιαίτερα που ξεκινάτε τη μέρα σας διαβάζοντας τον Εθνικό Κήρυγα. Είναι για μένα μεγάλη τιμή. Κύριε Πρέσβη, κύριε Γενικέ Πρόξενε της Κύπρου, αγαπητοί φίλοι, κυρίες και κύριοι, χαίρομαι, αλλά κυρίως συγκινούμε απόψε, που βρίσκομαι πίσω στο Queen's College. Γνωρίζω αυτό το κτίριο από την εποχή που χτίστηκε. Και ως πρόεδρος του Ίκαρου, για τον οποίο ακούσαμε πολλά απόψε, έδωσα μάχη μαζί με αρκετούς άλλους συμμαθητές μου της εποχής εκείνης για να πάρουμε το γραφείο, που αν θυμάμαι καλά είναι στο δεύτερο όροφο, όπου στεγαζόταν ο Ίκαρος και φαντάζομαι ότι στεγάζεται ακόμα. Αλλά πρέπει να πω στους απόφοιτους κυρίως ότι ως πρόεδρος του Ίκαρου ελάχιστα πήγαινα στις τάξεις και περισσότερο περνούσα το χρόνο μου σε καφετέρια, όπου διαπραγματευόμουν, όπως ο κύριος Υπουργός, με τους συμμαθητές μου, θέματα που αφορούσαν την Χούντα την εποχή εκείνη. Πράγματα που ανήκουν στην ιστορία. Δεν μπορείτε να φανταστείτε τι δεν σκέφτηκα απόψε στον χώρο αυτό. First of all, I want to congratulate my friend Professor Christos Ioannidis and Effie Lekas, and everyone who is involved at the Center for Byzantine and Modern Greek Studies at Queen's College, my alma mater, and the 40th anniversary of its service to the Greek letters and the community. And since I'm presenting the Harry Psomiadis Memorial Scholarship, I want to say that I knew Harry Psomiadis in different phases of my life. I knew him as a professor of mine. I took a course with him on the Eastern question, and I passed the course still. I knew him as the publisher of the newspaper when he started the program. I knew, and I know, that he was one of the most distinguished Greek Americans with a passion for Hellenism and the Pontian issue as Effie said before. And I recall vividly the interview he gave us a few days before he passed away, at which he made some very important points that he used to tell me in private when we would get together once in a while to have a drink. I want to congratulate warmly τα παιδιά μας, as Harry Psalmiades would say, the children of this community. I want to congratulate their parents for the efforts, the sacrifices. It was all worth it. And I want to present the Harry A. Psalmiades Memorial Scholarship to Eleni Stellatos.
Let's mention that Eleni received this scholarship. She is a high school senior who will be attending Queen's College and enrolling in our center's program. So it was very appropriate that she received the...
Macaulay Honor student. Macaulay.
And she's also be at the Macaulay Honor student, where I also offer a course. And I didn't mention that Antonio Matarrigos was president of Icarus, behaving like a real Greek student, spending his time in the cafeteria. Now let's go to Dr. Mary Anna Marangos Memorial Scholarship, and presented by Mrs. Sofia Kojia. Sofia.
Mary, Dr. Mariana Marangos, was a tenacious and very passionate advocate of issues that were close to her heart. And some of those issues were women's rights, Cyprus, Hellenic issues, and above all, education. When she advocated, she had a very loud voice, sort of Mary, but she also did so in a very eclectic way. And I think doing so in her own special way, it inspired innovation and it inspired change. I want to congratulate everybody tonight. This is a very special moment for the graduates. And I think it's appropriate to quote Dr. Maya Angelou, who passed this morning. What you learn, teach. What you get, give. This year's Dr. Mariana Marangos Memorial Scholarship goes to Mikkel Mulbauer.
That Mikel is going to graduate of our center, is going to Columbia University to pursue his PhD. Congratulations. The next scholarship is the Πανχιακή Korali Society of New York Graduate Study Scholarship. And I wish to thank the Panchayaki Korali Society for their support for the years, and we presented by Mr. Stanley Monitis, whom I see quite often.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to be very brief, okay? I fortunately did not attend Queen's College, but I did attend Brooklyn College.
Me too.
We forgive you. Anyway, the Panchayaki Korali Society was founded in 1912, 102 years ago, by immigrants from the beautiful island of Chios. Their mission, which continues today, is to promote Hellenic education and Hellenic culture. With that in mind, we are very proud to present this evening a $1,000 scholarship to Ms. Christina Kosmidis.
Let's say that Christina is not only a alumnus of the center, but also our college assistant as well. So congratulations, Christina. Next, we have the Archbishop Demetrius Scholarship, be presented by the very Reverend Father Vasilios Vasekios. Reverend Father.
His Eminence Archbishop Demetrius could not be here tonight because of other arrangements that he is doing, as you know. He's in Jerusalem and doing the meetings and representing America. But I came, just a quick note, I came to this school by mistake.
There are no mistakes.
And Effie's correct, there are no mistakes. I was in Brooklyn College, and the center that I was at in my major was dropped during my first semester. I looked all over for another college. My best friend is Effie Lekis' godparents. They said, why don't you go to Queens College? My goddaughter is there. So I made a phone call, I went, I met Effie, and then I had the privilege and the honor and the humbling way that our great friend Harry Psomyadis greets everyone. With great respect, he came to me and he said, whatever you want to do, you can do. And then through all the classes, I had the honor of meeting one of the nicest people in this school, besides everyone else that's here. I know that during, just a quick, we had a funeral, myself and Father Stephanopoulos at the cathedral recently for Mrs. Hero, Professor Hero. I could not say Angela during the funeral service because I know her as Professor Hero. So Father Stephanopoulos hits me and says, you have to say Angela. I said, okay. These are the people and the character of people that are here, that teach. I went to the school, I went to the program, and when I graduated and I was assigned later on when I came back to New York, I went to the cathedral with Father Robert for 5 years. And Mrs. Hero used to be in the pews every holiday, every service. And of course, at the end, after a homily, she came up to me and critiqued me as a wonderful professor, saying, did you leave this out? And I said, no, this, oh, okay. But that's what you get. Teachers who teach, not who tell you, they teach. And they inculcate within you the love of the church, the love of Greece, and the love of Cyprus. And that's what we need. We need people like this, and I hope some people pick up that flag and that banner and continue. As I know Nico was one of my fellow students, as we were together, we also passed the wonderful class of Cafeteria 101. We spent many days there. So in presenting this great award for Archbishop Demetrius, the scholarship for first Xenia Kokinos, and also for Peter Kouzilos.
These are, the students are born here, but the parents are here. Yeah, also President of Icarus. He's currently President of Icarus.
Center.
Xenia, but it's not spending too much time in cafeteria. Okay?
Wait.
And I asked their parents, please get up. We're recognizing your children.
Because these were our students.
And well, it confirms that what we said. The parents have been our students and now they are proud to see their children graduating. This is the success story of the center.
They were our alumni.
And they are alumni, yes.
So this is
The
second.
parents.
Yeah.
Now let's move to the Professor Angela Hero. Professor Elizabeth Konstantinidis Memorial Scholarship, presented by Mr. Nicholas Palamachi, alumnus of 1986. Nick Palamachi, Head of International Communications at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and his similar post at Citigroup Merrill Lynch, served as Deputy Chief Speechwriter 1989-1983 to Mayor David Dickens. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Congratulations on what you've done in Harry's footsteps. Thank you very much for taking the leadership here. Okay, so as I see it, we're gathered here this evening to celebrate the 40 years and to celebrate the achievements, but also to remember. So let me just quickly, and Effie had asked me to kind of share a few memories, but let me just start by saying, well, of course, Harry Psammiadis, the late Harry Psammiadis, without whom none of us would be here. It was his vision and his tenacity and determination, and I saw him politicking and dealing with the heads of the college to make sure that this place happened and it was funded, etc. And it's one of the things that attracted me here, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. I owe him tremendous debt of gratitude. Angela Hero, father, I'm going to compete with you on this. She was my history professor, my first history professor, I should say, my first Greek history professor. And she had boundless faith in me. She spoke with utter clarity, taught me Greek history tremendously well. By the way, my second Greek history professor is here, Helena Frangakis-Siret. Hello, Helen. Great, nice to see you. Thank you very much. So we're remembering, right? And then, of course, the professor after whom this award is named, Elizabeth Konstantinidis, who taught me the difference between Thasukano Keftedakia and Thasekano Keftedakia. It took me a while to get that, but Karen, I'll explain to you later. I'll translate it. It's, for those who don't speak Greek, it's I will make keftedakia for you, meatballs for you. And the other one, if you say it incorrectly, is I will make meatballs out of you. I will turn you into meatballs. So thank God she corrected that very early on. Let me also remember a very dear, sweet, lovely, wonderful classmate of mine who will live in my memory forever, and of many of us, Joanne Nicolelis. She died of cancer in 2011, and may I say of her and of all the people I mentioned, may their memory be eternal. Okay, Elizabeth Konstantinidis. The first day of class, she announced to us, she's a diminutive woman, many of you may remember her, very diminutive, small in stature, but very strong in spirit. The first announcement was, with a big smile, this is for people who don't speak Greek. If you do speak Greek, please transfer into a different class. Because if you stay in this class and you do speak Greek, I will find you and I'll get you out of this class. So, one or two people, changed classes. There weren't that many who tried to pull this. It was something that you weren't supposed to do. You already knew how to speak Greek. You got the credits already. It was kind of in the bag. So she said, it was about 4 classes later, she put a Greek word on the blackboard behind us. And she asked us all, just after 4 weeks, could we guess what it meant? And there was utter silence. And there were complete silence, because none of us knew. It probably had about 12 letters in it. We had just learned the Greek alphabet. How are we going to know what this word was? Silence, and all of a sudden, from the back of the room, all of a sudden you heard this voice, "He's from Turkish." And she said, "Thank you very much, Yanni. May I see you after class?" And of course, we never saw Yanni again. So she found every one of them and tracked them down. Anyway, now I'm a writer. I've done speech writing. I've done many other kinds of writing. I was privileged enough to write for the Greek American for many years, for Fani Petalidis and others. It was just an extraordinary experience. And I love words and languages, and Elizabeth gave me a great gift by teaching me Greek. Greek is, as you know far better than I, it's the universal language. What is it? 1/3 of the English language is Greek roots. You can understand almost anything by if you understand Greek. But for me, it was especially meaningful because my father was a Vlach from Albania, and he married a Vlach from Greece. So Vlach was my first language growing up. And English was my second language. I didn't learn Greek. I didn't particularly have an interest in learning anything else. I learned English. I wanted to play baseball in the streets of the Bronx and speak English. But the problem was that most of my cousins in Greece were not learning Vlach anymore. Vlach is a Romance language, as I'm sure many of you know, spoken in northern Greece. And my cousins weren't learning it anymore, so I had no way of communicating with them. So the amazing thing is that Elizabeth taught much more than Greek to me. What she did was actually, she gave me a way to communicate with my family, and that is really one of the greatest gifts ever. I was able to communicate, and I've been in touch with them ever since then. We've taken the family, the children over there to meet them. I've corresponded with them, et cetera, et cetera. So I am eternally grateful to Elizabeth, and again to all of you, to Harry, for giving me this gift of being able to communicate with my family in Greece. Let me just ask, actually, now that I've thanked all of you and all the people who have contributed to this thing, for a round of applause for the people who have contributed to this center over the years. Thank you very, very much. Okay, and now it's a very special honor for me to present the Professor Elizabeth Constantinidis Scholarship to Antonia Chita.
The next scholarship is the Professor Angela Hero Memorial Scholarship. We remember Angela, we lost her 5 weeks ago. She was so remarkable, as many of us mentioned here. Those who knew her well are Josefi, who's very close to her, Professor Fragakis there too, and the Panamachi and Father Kosekiros, all having fond memories of this very, very fine academic and the most fine lady. To present the Angela Hero Memorial Scholarship is Kostas Vangelatos. Costa? Oh, here he is, who is a member of the Advisory Council, President of Icaros, and also Thalonian.
Dr. Gizis, distinguished guests, of course, I celebrate with all of you the 40th anniversary of our center, but let me confess, the dominating feeling is different. I'm glad and happy to see familiar faces from the late 70s, friends and classmates. There are so many here tonight, and they are here to tell us, to express their gratitude to the center for what the center has given to us, because I was one of them, to our children. Some of our graduates are here with their children who also graduated Queen's College. And let me tell you, being a member of the Advisory Council all these 4 years, was not easy. I lived the struggle that Professor Psomiadis was doing every day, later Dr. Ioannidis and Effie and the advisory council, and every day it was a struggle to keep the center alive. But 60,000 graduates passed from the center. Should not be difficult to keep the center alive. So I would like today, with the opportunity that so many of us are here tonight, and I mentioned the 70s, but there are students from the 80s, the 90s, we have to do something. We have to convert our gratitude and our enthusiasm to support for the center. Let's make a commitment tonight. Let's join the effort to organize an alumni association to make sure that the center continues to give the light and the spirit of Hellenism to future generations. I think we made the commitment, Dr. Ioannidis. It's been an honor for me to present the scholarship in memory of Dr. Angela Hero. Sharing some views before we started with some classmates who attended the classes, we all agreed that Dr. Hero was one of the best intellectuals, the best professors who taught at our center. And I think I express feelings of all of us. She will stay in our hearts forever, and we always remember her with love and respect.
So, scholarship is awarded to Chris Porfirio. Chris. Costa, you had a special mission.
Costa was a member of our first graduating class, and tonight we have a reunion, and I would just like them all to stand up they started it all. So that would be Alex Doulis, who sent us his daughter Maria Doulis, Vera Goros, who also sent us her daughter Eleni Goros, Eleni Kantaros Mibadi, Dr. George Kanelopoulos, the principal of the afternoon school of St. Nicholas, Irene Papadoulis, Louis Perdikakis, Evangelia Sideris Garis, who also sent us her daughter, and Vicky Mavromati. So just get up so we could give you a round of applause.
Thank you, Effie. The scholarship is Professor Alice Scorpi Memorial Scholarship. Professor Scorpi passed away a few years ago. She was a real pioneer in Greek American Studies. She started the program in Greek American Studies at the center. She was pioneer in Greek American Women's Studies, and we are really grateful to her. And of course, her memory will always be with us. To present the memorial, Alice Scorpi Memorial Scholarship, is Alexandra Gavoras, graduate of 2013, president of Icarus. Yeah, her mom is here, of course.
She's an alumnus.
And she's an alumnus too. My goodness.
Too many to keep track of. I just want to thank Effie for the invitation and Professor Ioannidis, and say it's an honor to be among so many distinguished guests. Congratulations to the scholarship recipients. I myself was a scholarship recipient, and I understand how important it is to have this opportunity. I don't know anything about these kids' finances, but I know that they're all very wealthy because they had the opportunity to have a Hellenic education. And that's something very unique and something that you really only get at places like Queens College. And I came here as an honor student And one of the reasons I attended Queens College was because of the Hellenic Studies program. So, and it was one of the best choices I've ever made. And I want to thank those who make that possible, because they gave the opportunity to these students. So my request is to help contribute, keep contributing, and make it even bigger. Και τώρα που έχουμε πρόεδρο που είναι Έλληνας, χαίρομαι πάρα πολύ και που έχουμε την υποστήριξή σας. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to present the scholarship to a familiar face, Magdangela Kosmetatos.
Also President. Yeah, Alexander, of course, President of Ligaros, you said that. Yes. And her mom is here, right? We said that. The next scholarship is the Asklepios Thessalian Brotherhood Scholarship. It's presented by Mr. Haralambos Tsaprakas in memory of Antigone Tsaprakas.
We know.
The scholarship is awarded to George Georgakis. George? Congratulations. Thank you very much. The next scholarship is Cephallonian Brotherhood Association Scholarship in memory of Peter Latos Square, to be presented by Andrew Latos Square. Okay, presented by Kostas Vagelatos. A familiar face, I should say. And it's awarded to Penelope Sprouse. Penelope? Congratulations, Penelope. Next is the Chian Federation Scholarships. Are the Chian Federation Scholarships to be presented by Ms. Amalia Brunias, alumnus of 1991, and Mrs. Santi Milonas.
President Kizis, distinguished guests. On behalf of the Chian Federation, I would like to congratulate all the recipients of tonight's scholarships. You are all so important to our community. Your involvement in any organization will help define our community in the future. I feel great pride because I'm also an alumna of the Center for Byzantine and Modern Greek Studies. I came 17 years old from the island of Chios to the big city, New York. My sister Isabella had already paved the way and was taking classes at the center. She encouraged me to do the same. The Center for Byzantine and Modern Greek Studies was my home away from home. Friendships were formed till today, and I had the opportunity to meet individuals that helped me shape my path. I learned how to get involved and participate in something I believe in. I had the honor to meet the late Professor Harry Psomiadis. I fell in love with Byzantine history through the teachings of the late Angela Hero. Professor Angela Hero. And of course, Effie Lecas. Her positive energy makes you want to be a better you. The Center for Byzantine and Modern Greek Studies has such pivotal purpose in our community. It gives young people two very important strengths: their roots, understanding where they come from, and their wings, helping them get to their destination. May the center continue its opus, and may it continue to make us proud to know there is a precious treasure in Queens College that will continue to give roots and wings to every individual that passes through. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Malia. And the scholarships are awarded to Evanthea Mamsaderis and Adonis Neophytou. Please come forward. Evanthea. And Adonis. Stay there all together.
Adonis is a foreign student from Cyprus.
Oh, Adonis is also a former student.
A foreign student from Cyprus.
Ah, and he's from Cyprus. When?
I graduated in 93.
Oh, look at this, I love it.
Well, and he informed me that in 1993 she graduated from Queens College as well.
Of course.
So, the more the better. The next is the Cyprus Federation of American Scholarships, presented by Is Costa Costa made it. Welcome, Costa. We were not sure, but you made it. Because we started a great time. Okay, so it's presented by Mr. Costa Tsentas, who is the president of the Federation, the Cyprus Federation of America.
Really, the Greek Cypriots are usually a minority in our Greek American community, but tonight we're very well represented. We got Mr. Ioannidis, Mr. Christodoulidis, Mr. Konstantinidis, η Εφη Λέκα που είναι επίτιμη η Κυπριά, είμαστε και όλοι αυτοί οι άλλοι που είναι σήμερα εδώ. Φυσικά. I'm extremely proud because the honoree tonight is a Greek Cypriot who is fighting for the Cyprus cause. And I have a very brief message for the graduates tonight that we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of this of the center, but in a few weeks we will commemorate the 40th anniversary of the Turkish invasion and occupation of Cyprus. And that occupation continues today. As you go out there to pursue your dreams, please remember this. Greece and Cyprus are going through very difficult times. The Patriarchate is going through very difficult times. So as you go out there, please remember our heritage, remember our culture, remember Greece, remember Cyprus, remember our church. Good luck to all of you.
So the scholarship in memory of Alekos Andreou is awarded to Hara Christodoulidou. Hara. And the scholarship in memory of Stelios Rochidis is awarded to Dimitrios Nikitopoulos. Dimitri. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Costa. Next is the Athanasia Ioannis Dakis Memorial Scholarship, presented by Dr. Katerina Ziouzias, that I met a little earlier. She told me about it, Katerina.
Καλησπέρα σας. I would like to thank all of you here for maintaining this beacon of Hellenic education right here in Queens for all of us to take advantage of. From a very young age, my parents taught me the value of a great education and Hellenic ideals. I can think of no better way to honor their memory than to present this scholarship.
The scholarship is awarded to Savo Maslorovich. Savo. You see, as President Gizis had observed earlier, we have to spread our wings out to beyond the Greek American community, beyond the students of Greek origin. We're coming in, and I would say about 30% of our students, and we're very proud of that, are of non-Greek origin, and they blend very well. They spend a lot of time at the cafeteria together too, which is education. Yeah, the next scholarship is Dimitrios K. Dimitrios, an alumnus of 1977, Memorial Scholarship, and I will ask Athina Lazaridis, alumnus of 1976, and Miss Elizabeth Dimitrios.
I'd like to thank the alumni, Effie, professor, that you honored my husband in such a way. I'm quite touched, my daughter and I. Dimitrios, otherwise known as JJ, was absolutely one of the greatest Hellenes, I think, in the community. And I think he would have been so touched by this. I want to say something to the graduating class. Please reach for the stars. Even if you get halfway there, it would be great. Thank you very, very much.
And the scholarship is awarded to George Kosmetakos. George? Congratulations. Thank you, Athena, for your moving words. Thank you very much. Now we go to the Federation of Hellenic Societies of Greater New York Scholarships, be presented by its President Elias Sikiridis, Secretary Petros Galadoulas, and Vasilis Gournelos. And I will ask Elias to